So much more than just space, and we are surrounded by a slew of individuals that's sitting here during a lunchtime and having the opportunity to also engage with our guest here today. Now, we are going to spice things up a little bit for you today because, as always, it's all about talking about tech. It's also showcasing some amazing CEOs and executives and, of course, companies. But also today, we are talking a little bit about an actual product or an IoT device, which I'm just going to say over and over now that I really understand the concept. Here with me today, CEO and co-founder of Clashworks, and also IoT developer of a wonderful product we're going to talk about called Raven. So before we get into Raven, we are going to give all of you that's watching this right now an opportunity to just take a peek what this product is all about. Here it is.
Anywhere I go, you're always in my heart. Anywhere I travel, I'm never far apart. I can get lost, lose my direction, still have our connection. Anywhere I go, you're always in my heart. Anywhere I travel, we never fall apart. I can get lost, lose my direction, still have our connection. Anywhere I go, keep your smile in the back of my mind to keep me warm when the nights get cold. When I look up and see the stars, wherever you are, come with me. Anywhere I go, you're always in my heart. Anywhere I travel, we'll never fall apart. I can get lost, lose my direction, we still have our connection. Anywhere I go, hold me close inside your heart. You'll never have to miss me.
Just a little taste of what this amazing product Raven is all about. So before we jump into the product even further, which really looks extremely exciting, let's talk a little bit just about you. Russell, did I say that right? Thank you so much. Russell, you have a wonderful background, and it actually, I think, plays a real role in where the company you are in now and the product that you're working with now comes from. So to go through it a little bit here, an executive with Alcatel and then ran R&D for a Newbridge affiliate, which was then eventually acquired by Alcatel. Then you went ahead and you started Black Sumac, which in 2012, you created the product Piper, which is a home security platform, or product, so to speak. IoT platform, and that was then acquired just 20 months later by a Silicon Valley company, which is pretty spectacular. And I know you literally had companies, like 4 companies pretty much come to you and say, we are interested in this, which is pretty amazing. And then you said, okay, well, that's great. We were acquired very quickly in just 20 months, and Piper also won a CES Design and Innovation Award at the CES show in 2014. And then you said, okay, great. Black Sumac was also actually one of the success stories for Capital Angels Network, which is amazing. And then you started now a new company called Clashworks, and then you started another IoT product, which is Raven. And here we are now talking about Raven. So it's been quite the journey for you. So let's talk a little bit firstly about why Raven? Why did you feel you're going to use your expertise and also your just expertise in creating these phenomenal products, which once again, I mean, the great thing about Raven, it's also already been nominated for a CES Design and Innovation Award at the upcoming CES show coming up in January. So it's just win after win for you. So let's talk a little bit, why Raven?
Well, okay, so Raven is a product for the car. And it's, when you are acquired, and what tends to happen if you're a CEO and you're in a creative space is that they don't want you to compete with them, within two years of acquisition. So I could not compete in the home IoT space by bringing out another product. And I got together with my partner, Dan Carruthers, and we talked about what we could do next. And it seemed to me that the car automotive market was one that's primed for disruption. As you know, there's so much going on right now, it's crazy. And I had this experience of my daughter driving back from Montreal, and she was at school there, and it was in a snowstorm. And she's one of these people who doesn't really pay attention to things like how much fuel is in a car, or if their cell phone is charged or whatever. And I lost contact with her. And I was driving crazy. Is she okay? And I look at the road, I get on the radio, and there's accidents, black ice. And I was very nerve-wracked about the whole thing. And I was kind of frustrated. Why are cars so dumb? Why was so much of our technology connects us so incredibly well, and every year it gets better and better? Why is there nothing in cars? And it's a lot of it's about people who make cars. They build technology which is specifically for the car itself, and it's very car centric. So Dan and I set about building a new company around connection technology, IoT, like Internet of Things technology, around the car itself and people who drive it. And this is the genesis for starting Raven.
It sounds so simple that why you wanted to start this. And I mean, clearly, obviously, as you just said, yes, the connectivity of cars, just that realm is growing and expanding exponentially. Now, for you as a company, I mean, how do you see, what is kind of the steps that you'd like to take to make sure that this gets embraced more by the average user? I mean, this sounds so simple, and why would not every single person have it? What are you trying to do, and what are you trying to showcase how easy it is for people to use it? I mean, the video we just watched kind of touches that a lot in the various applications, but maybe you can share a little bit more how can it be applied on multiple levels.
Yeah, so building a technology for a car, a connected car, which is actually basically connecting your vehicle to the family and all members of the family. Going about developing that kind of technology, you have to look at all the constraints around putting technology into a car, and especially when you're a small company starting up, bring a consumer product to market, you have to address what is possible in a specific time frame, but also look ahead what is possible beyond that. So it's building something that can go into market now, but also something, a platform and technology, that expertise that you can build on and grow as the market itself evolves, and you see the market evolving. So we looked around. Our last product was camera-based. You could basically, if you had Hypers in your home, you could stream on your cell phone and you could check what's going in your home. And a lot of people, when we look, even though security was an angle which we sold a product, a lot of people used the product instead to check that the kids got home okay, that the cat was fine, it's sleeping on the sofa, and people used the camera technology to really, as a voyeuristic kind of approach, to look into their place and see that everything's okay and the family's okay. And we thought about this approach with Raven, and so we developed a technology that was camera-based. And I can actually show you here, because I have a Raven. I took a Raven out of my car just before I came in here. And this system basically has two cameras. It has a road-facing camera and a rear-facing camera. It has displays. It has a raft of sensors in here. And it's basically always powered up, connected to your telematics. But the most important thing about Raven is that it has a SIM card. So this is actually a high-end Android phone, totally repackaged and redesigned.
Wow.
So we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor in here, and basically allows us to encode and stream both cameras in real time. So the benefits of this technology is that it totally connects you to your vehicle. So if I, for example, if I saw this in a car right now, I could go and check the cameras live. So I can look at the front camera and rear camera. If I have a teen driver who's driving around and I'm a parent, I'm really concerned about them, I can check them. From the app, you have a lot of features. If you have a dog, you're just leaving a dog in a car for, you shouldn't, but people do.
Exactly.
More likely a dog than a child.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Someone said, "Oh, what about child?" But it's when you're marketing this kind of product, you don't really want to market that.
No, of course.
But obviously you could, but you don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I can grab that from you, I think the wonderful thing is that it just, as you just said, it allows you to extend your family into your vehicle and give you that connectivity and that aspect. And I think it's purely saying, hey, listen, I would like you to go get something out of the car, or I see you're struggling with it, or you're in the car now learning to drive and you're with another driver and mom and dad wants to check in, or as you say, you're a teenager, or they just got their driver's license. I think that's phenomenal. So so let's understand a little bit how does this work? If I wanted to get one of these, how can I get one?
Okay, so we actually will start shipping this in Q1. So we can go to our website and pre-order it. There's a deposit required to pre-order it, and it guarantees you first in the queue to get a Raven. But the idea is that you buy this for a channel, and our channels that we will have, certainly for the first 2 quarters next year, will be Amazon, our website. Then we're going to retail channels. We have meetings set up at CES with Best Buy. And we'll be basically looking at all the main channels to roll this out to, and to make this available. And you buy it, the cost of the hardware we're keeping down, even though it's an expensive product. If we were making margins on the hardware, this would be quite expensive. But what we do is we sell data plans.
Yes.
And so this product is primarily a data plan, service plan product.
Yes. So as you mentioned, it does have its own SIM card. So it's literally, I love the fact that it can still be on while the car is even off.
Yes.
That's spectacular because, and I saw even in the little video, there's safety. You're at a restaurant, you want to check on your car, make sure it's safe. You parked it in a dodgy neighborhood, you're not quite sure if it's the right place, or you parked it somewhere where you probably shouldn't and might get towed. And
Careful the mimes.
I love that aspect because it made me think, how does that work even when the car is off? But because it has its own plan, you got that option. So you can say people can literally go to the site now, which is?
It's raven.is.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So you can go there and kind of pre-order it there and then have the ability to sign up for the data plan and get the product in Q1 of next year.
Yeah. And the only thing I'd add is the fun aspect to this, is that because the system's on all the time and it's connected, is that when you're driving along, if you see something, you make a gesture to Raven, and it will take a video before the event and after the event, put it straight on your cell phone, and you can share it on Facebook or social media.
Yeah. I think I saw that. I think you could just wave, and that's what. So I mean, once again, we live in this world where there's a lot of things that's happening in traffic, and you are in your vehicle, and the last thing you want to do is pull your cell phone. That's getting your hands off the road.
It
yes.
has to be connected, just like everything else.
Exactly. Yeah. So congratulations. Firstly, this looks spectacular. Now I'm going to ask you one more question. You have now been in this realm where you have been part of acquisitions. You've been part of creating a product, an actual physical product, bringing it to market, and of course people wanting to acquire you yet again. What has been the biggest lesson you have learned this far? I mean, you continue to learn lessons, I'm sure, as you go further, but just in this space specifically, in the IoT space, the Internet of Things, and even just the product creation space, what have you learned?
I learned a few things. I think one of the things that especially building businesses, is its relationships are one of the big things. I have most of the people who work for me in more than one company previously, and so and my partner I have a great relationship with, and we work with local companies like Ottawa Moldcraft and Gibson Design, who did our industrial design for Raven, which actually looked great. We leveraged all the relationships that we've built over the years. And it's a great enabler. You can move very fast when you have relationships you trust, and if you get into bad relationships, you get out of them quickly. And so a lot of people make that mistake in business. I could go on other lessons, but it would.
And if I could just touch on one more thing. You're self-funded, and this is another big thing. Although you are in the space where you are raising capital, of course, to do certain aspects as you want to expand, and I guess I should ask you all of that in the same question. Being self-funded, do you think having a nice balance between being self-funded and raising capital is very, very important? Because so many times we want to get that capital first, but we don't really. It's difficult to say that you are tied to it if it's not all your money. Some people say that. What's your take on that?
Well, I think we are in Ottawa. I think that investors tend to be fairly conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was in Silicon Valley working for iControl as an executive, and investors down there are much more aggressive and opportunity seeking. And I think people, it's just more of a Canadian way of doing things. I think that self-funding for us gave us the freedom to really go a path that we believed in and build something, and then at this point show people that it's working, that the promise of it. And it's a much easier decision for investors here to make that jump into the company because they can see it.
Yes.
It's tangible, you know, it's not just, slideware and, we promise to do something in 9 months from now. Good luck. So we've done a lot of the heavy lifting with developing this product with our own funds. But it's time now, as we go to market, is to bring in not just money, but it's also influence and advice. And none of us know everything. We can't. The market's too complex and changing constantly. So when we bring in investors, we also bring in a new cadre of advisors and supporters, and contacts, which is really important for us.
Awesome. And future, what does the future look like?
Well, we Consumer Electronics Show in January. As we launch our PR, I'm doing media tours in San Francisco and New York in February. We're shipping the product in Q1, so we have a lot of the manufacturing production line stuff sorting out. We're building in Austin, Texas. So that's being worked on right now. So then it's rolling out the product to channels and then building our channel presence throughout next year. And we hope to go into service providers because it's SIM card based. It's actually a great product for someone like a Verizon and a Rogers or someone like that. But we're still very early in those discussions.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Russell, for joining me today. I know you literally rushed down here to come and join us, and I'm so glad to say that we're one of your first media stops on your way into 2018. Congratulations with the CES Design and Innovation Award as well. Congratulations on that. That's big, and that means so much to say that's an Ottawa company and someone like yourself with such a deep Ottawa history as well. So thank you so very much, and congratulations to both you and your co-founder as well. And we look forward to what's happening in the new year with Raven.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.